You thought war was all tanks and grim news reports? Well, buckle up, because the Russia-Ukraine war is also drones battling mid-air like budget Star Wars, dolphins working naval security, and TikTok turning into the Pentagon's side hustle. Yep, this war has gone full Black Mirror. Today we're counting down 10 of the weirdest, wildest, wait, what facts about the Russia-Ukraine war you definitely didn't hear about in your history class. Let's dive in before something else gets 3D printed into a weapon. 1. Drone dogfights, tiny sky wars. Imagine this. 2 quadcopters meet in the sky, not for delivery, not for photos, but for battle. Welcome to drone-on-drone combat, where unmanned aerial vehicles are literally colliding, tangling, and kamikazing each other mid-air like flying GoPros with grudges. Ukrainian and Russian drones now fight like it's the Top Gun of Wi-Fi. Some even deploy nets to snatch opponents mid-flight. And yes, some of these battles are live-streamed, so if you've ever wanted to watch a robot slap fight in real time, 2025 has you covered. And if you thought Sky Wars were weird, wait till you hear how a tractor became a tank thief. Seriously, this next one should be in Fast and Furious Kyiv Drift. 2. Ukrainian farmers stealing tanks. Picture this. A Russian tank breaks down. A Ukrainian farmer rolls up in a tractor and steals it, not just once, repeatedly. Farmers were literally towing abandoned Russian tanks like they were overdue at Hertz. It became such a thing that Ukrainian tax officials had to publicly say, hey, if you tow a tank, it's yours. No need to report it. Modern problems require very modern tax codes, from high-speed tractor heists to low-tech spies with hashtags. Next up, we're talking about how TikTok became a military intelligence tool. Yes, that TikTok. 3. TikTok, the new battlefield intel hub. So it turns out, if you're trying to hide troop movements, maybe don't post dance videos near military convoys. Both Russian and Ukrainian soldiers and civilians were doing exactly that. Cue TikTok OSINT, that's open source intelligence for the non-nerds. Analysts were tracking tanks, confirming missile strikes, and locating Russian bases, from dance clips and cooking tutorials. Your For You page just became For War page. Welcome to Gen Z warfare, but hold up, we're only getting weirder. Next up, people joking about selling tanks online. And no, this isn't a Craigslist prank ad. 4. Captured tanks listed, jokingly. Online, as tanks were left behind, some Ukrainians got a little creative. Listings began appearing on local classified websites offering slightly used Russian tanks. Low mileage, minor scratches, comes with free freedom. It started as a meme, but the kicker, it got so real that Ukrainian officials had to clarify, if you acquire Russian equipment, no need to declare it for taxes. Try telling that to your accountant. Okay, now let's turn to the animal kingdom. Because what's a war without combat dolphins and spy pigeons? 5. Dolphins and pigeons in combat Russia allegedly deployed military-trained dolphins at naval bases in Crimea. Their mission? Spot enemy divers. Basically, SeaWorld turned secret agent. And Ukraine. They looked into spy pigeons. Yes, those dusty city birds, fitted with tiny cameras like feathery little James Bonds. We've gone from Top Gun to Finding Nemo special ops. Still with me? Good, because the real weapon of mass distraction isn't tech or tanks, it's memes. Number 6. Memes as psychological warfare. While Russia ran disinformation campaigns, Ukraine fired back with memes. Sharp, funny, painfully accurate memes that mocked the Russian army and boosted morale across the globe. Think Putin photoshopped into Marvel villains, tanks rebranded as scrap metal, and live updates that read like stand-up comedy. Memes traveled faster than missiles, and arguably hit harder on the morale front. Now let's talk about a ghost who became more famous than any real fighter pilot. Number 7. The Ghost of Kyiv, who wasn't real. Early in the war, stories exploded about the Ghost of Kyiv, a legendary Ukrainian pilot who allegedly shot down 6 Russian jets in one day. He was everywhere. News headlines, fan art, action figures. The twist, he never existed. The Ukrainian government later admitted Ghost of Kyiv was a myth, a symbol of resistance. Not a real pilot, but the morale boost, very real. And speaking of things that shouldn't exist but totally do, how about 3D printed printed grenades. 8. 3D printing on the front lines, forget Etsy. Both sides have been using 3D printers to make weapon parts, ammunition, and even drone bodies. Ukrainian engineers printed replacement components for NATO weapons and hacked together entirely new devices in garages and labs. Some soldiers carried portable printers in the field. It's warfare meets maker faire. So how do you coordinate a war when your country's in chaos? You turn to Telegram. Number 9. Telegram, the war room in your pocket. Telegram became more than just a messaging app. It turned into the frontline war dashboard. Ukrainians used it to report airstrikes, find shelter, and coordinate resistance. Russian channels used it to push propaganda and leak positions. Some channels even gave real-time drone strike orders. It's like Reddit and Call of Duty had a baby during an invasion. And last but not least, because what's a modern war without civilian hackers in hoodies? 10. The rise of the civilian hacker armies. The Ukrainian government literally tweeted, "Hey coders, want to join our cyber army?" And thousands of volunteers around the world said, "Bet." The result? A swarm of civilian-led cyber attacks on Russian banks, networks, and propaganda sites. They weren't soldiers. They weren't in uniforms. They were freelancers, teenagers, even tech bros in sweatpants, launching digital strikes from their bedrooms. It was cyberpunk, grassroots, and slightly terrifying, but incredibly effective. So yeah, this war, it's drones fighting like Pokemon, dolphins doing recon, tanks stolen by tractors, and hackers throwing cyber punches from basements. History books are gonna need a very weird appendix for this one. If your brain is now as overloaded as a 3D printer in a trench, smash that like button to support more weird deep dives. Subscribe for more jaw-dropping truths stacked higher than the Kremlin's propaganda pile. And remember, facts don't have to be boring, especially when they come with memes, missiles, and military-trained dolphins. Catch you in the next stack.